Hello, everyone. This video is going to go over some of the basic syscalls that you can find in MIPS. I'm using Mars version 4.5 for this program, for all these programs, in fact. So we're going to start off with print integer. A very useful component of Mars is you can go in the help menu here, and under MIPS, and then under syscalls, it gives a pretty good explanation of how to do it and all of them, and it's quite extensive, as you can see there. But to start off here, we're going to use the print integer syscall, which is code 1 in register v0. Its argument is in a0, which is the integer to print. So as we can see here in print integer.assembly.asm, we can see that we're loading syscall 1 into print integer, and then we're loading the integer to be printed into A0. So in this case, it's 123. That's going into A0, which is, again, our argument. And then we're performing the syscall. As you will see in every program, because you eventually have to exit the program, obviously, syscall 10 is for the terminate execution, or the exit. So as you can see here, we're loading 10 into V0, and then performing the syscall again, and that will end the program. So let's assemble this and let's run it. Successful assembly. And then as you can see here, it prints out the number 123. So let's move on to float. So here we need to actually store it into the data section. There's a .data in the .text section. Here I'm defining float value, which is 3.14. So as you can see here in the actual instructions here, print float is code 2 in V0, and F12 is the float to print. So as you can see here, I'm loading the syscall, I'm loading the address into A0, but that needs to go into F12. So I'm loading the float value from memory to F12, not V12. And then we're performing the syscall. At that point, we are doing the same thing with program termination. So let's run it. So as you can see here, it printed out 3.14. So next, let's move on to double. So print double is code 3 in V0. And again, F12 is the argument, which is the double to print. Very similar to float, we have to define the double value in the data section. So define that as 6.28. We load the syscall into V0. We load the address of double value into A0. We load that from memory into F12, and then we perform the syscall and then exit the program. So that's assemble and run it. So as you can see here, we have the output 6.28. Next, we're going to do print string, which is code 4. So the argument is A0, which is the address of the null terminated string to print. So as you can see here, we have to actually define this. Going into directives here, we're using ASCII Z, which is the string in the data segment, but we're adding null terminator. So as you can see here, we're loading the syscall, loading the message of the string into A0, we're performing the syscall, and then we're exiting the program. So that's assemble that, and that's run it. So as you can see here, hello world is the same message that we passed in. So now that we have the first 4 here that we're actually just printing stuff. Now let's actually read things. So here we have this program is going to demonstrate read integer, which is code 5. The result is stored in V0, so that contains the integer read. So as you can see here, we are loading the syscall for read integer, performing it. At that point, it will prompt the user to actually enter an integer. And once it does that, It won't move on until the user actually enters in an integer. But after that, it moves the input integer from V0 to T0 because we don't want to override it. We need to make sure we're storing our registers well. So then after we read it and move it into a temporary register, which that's what the T registers are, we're doing a very similar thing to print integer. We are loading that syscall, which is 1 again, moving the integer from T0 to A0 and performing the syscall, and then we exit the program. So that's compile, run it, or assemble and run it. So it doesn't do anything. It's as you can see, the mouse or the line there is blinking. So that's entering a number. Let's do 6. And once we click enter, it will reprint the number 6. Next, let's move on to read float. So as you can see here, read float is 6, code number 6, and then F0 contains the actual float read. So very simple. We load code 6 into the V0, perform the syscall, and then we load the syscall to print the float because we want to show that it actually worked, besides looking here on the right. And then we're moving the float value into F12 for printing, because again, that's the argument for print float syscall 2, and then we perform it, and then we terminate the program. So let's test it out. Let's assemble and run. So let's do 1.23, for example. And then once we click enter, it will redisplay that number. Okay, now moving on to read double, which is syscall number 7. As you can see here, again, similar to refloat, F0 contains a double read. So going up here, we load the syscall 7 to actually read the double. We perform the syscall, and then we load the syscall to print the double. We move F0 into F12 because in print double, F12 is the argument for the double to print. We perform the syscall, and then we terminate the program. So let's test it out. Assemble and run. So let's do 4.56, for example. And then once we click enter again, it will display 4.56. Again, very similar to the float. Now let's do read string, which is syscall 8. So this is the first syscall when there was multiple arguments. So A0 is the address of the input buffer, and then A1 is the maximum number of characters to read. That is important. I'll demonstrate that in a second. So as you can see here, again, we need a data section as is in strings. So we allocate 10 spaces for the input string. So in the main, we load that syscall 8. We put A0, we put input in that. We're allocating that space. And then we're putting 10 maximum characters to read into A1. And then we perform the syscall. At that point, we want to show that works, so we do a very similar thing to print string. We load syscall 4. We load the address of the input string into A0, because again, that input, that data will be there. And we print the string and exit the program. So let's do a couple examples for this one, going back to the address of the input buffer and maximum number of characters to read. So let's assemble and run. So let's do hello first. So HELLO. Once we click enter, it displays that message. Let's assemble it again and run it again. Now let's try to do HELL hello world. Oh, so as you can see here, it ran out of space. So it took what I entered and just printed it out. So how do we fix this? Well, we have to allocate more space for the input string in the data. And we also have to allocate more characters to read. So let's change that to 100 as well. Save it. Let's assemble and let's run it. So let's try doing hello world again. So HELLO exclamation mark. And then as you can see here, it prints out the full string. Okay, let's move on to print character, which is Syscall 11. And very similar, A0 is the only argument. It's the character to print. So as you can see here, we are loading Syscall 11 to V0. For this, it loads the ASCII value. So for the ASCII value for character uppercase A is 65. So we're going to do that, perform the syscall, and then terminate the program. Let's test it out. Assemble, run. As you can see here, it prints out A, capital A. Okay, finally, for this video, read character is syscall 12. The result is stored in V0, the character read. So as you can see here, in read character, we're loading the syscall for read character, performing it. Again, with these read things, it won't move on until the user actually enters something and clicks enter. So once that happens, the characters move to T0 because we don't want V0 to be overridden because V0 is the same register that the syscall codes are stored in. So syscall back to syscall 11 for print character, the character T0, which is now the same content of V0 as it was when the syscall was completed. That's moved into A0 as the argument. The syscall is performed and the program terminates. So that's assemble and run this last program. So let's do uppercase B, for example. So right when I click B, enter B this time, it will immediately print out the character stored. So in this case, uppercase B. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was informative. Please comment if you have any questions. Have a good day.